Good morning. Welcome to the 2020 Research Symposium of the Faculty of Education of University of Colombo. Today we are turning a new leaf at the Faculty of Education by having a research symposium in blended mode. So because of that, we have a large crowd gathering today, not physically, but online. So we have on-site and online participants today, which is a very big achievement for the Faculty of Education. And while thanking the Vice Chancellor, Madam, and the Dean of the Faculty of Education for preceding such an event, I wish to acknowledge the persons who are invited for this event. Venerable Sangha, Senior Professor Chandrika Vijayaratna, as the chief guest of the symposium, keynote speaker Dr. Upali Sedara, the Secretary to Education Reforms, Open University and Distance Learning Promotion, Rector, Deans of Faculties, Directors of Institutes, Librarian, Dr. Lakshman Vedikarage, Research Symposium Chair, Editor and Director NERIC, Heads of Department, colleagues, former professors and senior lecturers, registrar, bursar, and members of administrative and non-academic staff, distinguished invitees, and postgraduate students. Thank you very much for joining with us at the Faculty of Education for this research symposium. To officially inaugurate this session, I like to invite the following dignitaries to light the traditional oil lamp. The Vice Chancellor of University of Colombo, Dr. Upali Sedara, keynote speaker, Dr. Kapila Bandara, Dean Faculty of Education, Dr. Lakshman Vedikarage, Symposium Chair, and following heads of departments, Dr. Lalita Kumari, Mr. Jude Nonis, and Mr. S. Dahanayaka. And Mr. Edward, the Registrar of the University of Colombo, please. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Since we wanted to keep the social distancing, I may have skipped some names. Apologies for that. Um, so this lamp, actually, we have been lighting this lamp since the beginning of research symposium all throughout these years. And this year too, even during this COVID-19 epidemic, we managed to illuminate the faculty by lighting up this lamp. So I wish in many years to come, let this lamp be illuminated to celebrate knowledge disseminations in the Faculty of Education. Once again, may I ask the audience to please arise for the national anthem. I officially declare the 2020 Research Symposium of the Faculty of Education. Now I would like to have the pleasure of inviting the following dignitaries to the head table. Senior Professor Chandrika Vijayaratne, Dr. Upali Sedara, Dr. Kapila Bandara, and Dr. Lakshman Vedikaradi. Thank you. I would like to invite Dr. Kapila Bandara, Dean of the Faculty of Education, to welcome the audience on behalf of the Faculty of Education. Please.
Venerable Sangha, Chief Guest, Senior Professor Chandrika and Vijayaratne, Vice Chancellor of the University of Colombo, Keynote Speaker, Dr. Upali Sedara, Secretary to the Ministry of State Ministry of Educational Reforms, Open University and Distance Learning Promotions, the Rectors, Deans of the Faculties, Directors of the Institutes, Librarians, Heads of the Department and the members of the academic staff, former Deans, former Professors, Senior Lecturers of the Faculty of Education, the Registrar, Bursa, members of the administrative staff and non-academic staff, paper presenters, dear students, my dear colleagues and ladies and gentlemen. Very good morning, every one of you, and thank you for joining us at the Research Symposium 2020 of the Faculty of Education, University of Colombo. So let me brief about today's event and how it has been function throughout the day. The annual Research Symposium is one of the major events of the Faculty of Education, which is organized parallel to the annual Research Symposium of the University of Colombo. Theme of the symposium of this year is Education Reforms and Policy Implementation, Trends and Challenges. In this year, altogether 30 research papers will be presented by academics and postgraduate students of the Faculty of Education based on their research studies that were carried out selecting various aspects of the education. Dear madams, sirs, and ladies and gentlemen, COVID-19 pandemic is providing us challenging tasks as well as the new experiences for all of us, which are never experienced ever before. And it again and again forces us to rethink about our educational reforms and present educational practices in both general and higher education system in Sri Lanka. We are conducting the Research Symposium 2020 in this challenging situation. Therefore, taking the present situation into all the technical sessions are taken place 100% online. So I am happy to say that this whole program is being recorded and live broadcast via YouTube and Zoom technology. Finally, let me welcome you all for today's event. First and foremost, our chief guest today's event, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Colombo, Senior Professor Chandrika and Vijayaratne. I bid a very warm welcome to the faculty as well as this inaugural sessions. We are indeed honored and pleasure to have you with us, madam. On behalf of the Faculty of Education and organizing committee, I would also like to warmly welcome the keynote speaker of this symposium, Dr. Upali Sedara, Secretary to the State Ministry of Education Reforms, Open Universities and Distance Learning Promotion. So while warmly welcoming, I want to thank you for accepting our invitation even in your very busy schedule. So thank you, sir. Then I bid very warm welcome to this event, Rector of the Sri Pali campus of the University of Colombo, Deans of the faculties of the University of Colombo, Directors of the Institutes of the University of Colombo, and the Librarian of the University of Colombo. And very warm welcome to this event, former Deans, former professors and senior lecturers of the Faculty of Education. Next, my warm welcome goes to the heads of the department and all the members of the academic staff who are joining with us today physically and via Zoom. I also welcome the registrar, bursar, and members of the non-academic staff. I also wish to extend my warm welcome to Master of Philosophy and Doctor of Philosophy. Last, not least, as a Dean of the faculty, I thanks for the support given by the Symposium Chair, Dr. Lakshman Vedikarage, Symposium Committee, and all the members of the faculty. Dear colleagues, without your support, this event would not have been possible. So finally, I wish all of you a memorable and successful symposium. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Bandara. Let us now have the pleasure of listening to our chief guest, Senior Professor Chandrika Vijayratna, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Colombo. Madam, the stage is.
Thank you and very good morning. Ayubowan. May all of you be blessed with a long and healthy life, particularly in these days of very trying and challenging health and safety issues. Dr. Upali Sedara, our keynote speaker and secretary to the State Ministry of Educational Reforms, Open Universities and Distance Learning Promotion, Dean of the Faculty of Education, Dr. Kapila Bandara, former deans, former professors and emeritus professors from this faculty, rector, all deans, directors, librarian, as well as our registrar who is here in person with us, along with all the heads of departments and the chair of this symposium, Dr. Lakshman Vedikarage, who is also the director of NEREC, the research center, as well as all the staff, students who are online, as well as the postgraduate students. I congratulate you for having this hybrid session because this is the era of annual research symposia, the last quarter of every year. And having 9 faculties, a campus, and so many institutions, I think 7 institutions and several departments that also arranged thematic research symposia, I'm very pleased to note that our very mature and pioneering university has taken on the task of moving from being a teaching university to being research and evidence-based, which is, I think, a major step. The fact that everyone works towards the annual research symposium is very creditable and very commendable. Therefore, I would like to pledge from the central administration our fullest support to you not only to have these, but also to bring about an ethos of research, which is knowledge creation rather than just knowledge transfer alone. And in that context, I congratulate and I'm very proud of this faculty, which addresses a very basic fundamental human right, education. And Corona, if we call it Madam Corona, for whatever gender reasons, actually catapulted us, all of us, entire society, into having to get into a different mode of action. And it was also gave us time to think. And Dr. Sedara knows that we had many meetings with His Excellency, the President, Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa, and leaders in education on numerous rounds, from just before Corona to post-Corona, and where we have had some very deep discussions about educational reforms. So therefore, I congratulate this one, and I think the pioneering education faculty who should really lead the way in implementation in getting these really much required reforms. We always need to reform, we need to change. And we are very proud as a pioneer who led the way to free education, to bring about that educated, well-rounded citizen that we want as an output and outcome to sustain our country in being a leader in the region as well as in the world. So I would like to congratulate you all for having moved over to the digital mode. Not easy, but still we have done it. We still are trying to work out the e-assessments as a university, which is not easy again. But we have had several rounds of discussions, and in fact, we have found that our efficiency is probably improved through the digital mode. In addition, even in, say, nursing and medicine, there is e-care, digital care, distance care. So distance education is possible as shown by the Open University system, but no doubt our students miss being on site and we miss them terribly. Inasmuch as the new reforms have emphasized on civic education, as well as bringing in cultures such as mindfulness meditation, which have a very broad-based Asian cultural background, and also it highlights the importance of resilience and keeping our minds straight. I'm very impressed by your 30 papers, Dean and faculty. I think these papers have to go beyond just presentations and discussions here. It should be converted into recommendations, which can be handed over to our keynote speaker to bring about implementation. We've had one meeting with the Honorable Minister for State Education in reforms along with our keynote speaker, and every Vice Chancellor gave their best pledge to give the support to actually bring about a transformation and a reformation. So let us look towards value added and what society needs in the form of education. And I wish you the very best of health, safety, and education in the coming days, weeks, and months and years. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Vice Chancellor, for your encouraging words, and also showing us the necessity to catapult ourselves in this new normal towards e-learning. I have to say that you are an inspiration not only to the University of Colombo, but for all women. Right. So now we have come to the moment that we all have been looking forward to, the keynote speech by Dr. Upali Sedara. I would like the Dean of Faculty of Education to formally introduce Dr. Upali to the audience Of course, he doesn't need any formal introduction for our audience because he is well known in the faculty and university, but as it is customary, I cordially invite the Dean Faculty of Education to officially introduce Dr. Upali Sedara.
Thank you, Ms. Jeevani. I think introducing today's keynote speaker of today's event is not an easy task for me. So, however, I went to his biodata sent by our keynote speaker. So, where I realized that it's really hard work. So, anyway, I will make an effort to achieve this task to some extent, extract in some important aspect of your biodata. Dr. Upali Sedara graduated from the University of Ceylon, Peradeniya, Sri Lanka in 1969, obtaining a first-class honors for the Bachelor of Education degree. He has obtained 2 PhDs, one from Mahachola Langkan Raja Vidyalaya University, Bangkok, Thailand, and other from the University of Iowa City, USA. Dr. Upali Sedara, as an academic, educational consultant, and an educational expert, has been contributing to develop the education not only in Sri Lanka, but also at the global level, actively involving in multiple disciplines such as educational reforms, curriculum development, quality improvement in learning, teacher education, monitoring and evaluation, institutional capacity building of higher education and teacher education institution, distance learning, education policy formation. World Bank, Asian Development Bank, ZEDA, the Netherlands, the Norwegians, UNESCO, UNICEF, WHO, CIDA, ZEDA, Plan International, CARE USA are some of the development agencies that Dr. Sedara has worked as an educational expert. While being a rector and CEO of Sri Lanka International Buddhist Academy in Pallekele, he also serves as secretary to the Ministry of Education Reforms, Open University, and Distance Learning Promotion. He is also a chief advisor to the Ministry of Education and the team leader of the Presidential Task Force for Education Reforms, as well as the team leader of the International Consultant of Sustaining Access to Quality Education in Mongolia. We are honored to have Dr. Upali Sedara as a keynote speaker of the Annual Research Symposium 2020 of the Faculty of Education, the University of Colombo. Dear sir, with this brief introduction, I kindly invite you to deliver the keynote speech of the Annual Research Symposium 2020 of the Faculty of Education. Dear sir, podium is over to you.
Good morning to all of you. Venerable Mahasangha, the chief guest, the Vice Chancellor of Colombo University, all other distinguished academics, non-academics who are participating here, as well as all postgraduate students who are participating online. I know this is a bit of a difficult task to talk about reforms and the topic in 30 minutes, but I will try. Actually, this is a very timely topic. The Sri Lanka, of course, we all know, as we have served in the system for a long time. Sri Lanka has a good record for internal efficiency of education among all countries. The reason is we have problems, but we have a good system of education. That all Sri Lankans should realize. We have a good system of education. Unfortunately, it is not serving some of the other needs that we have. But for a long time, we are a prestigious, educated country. And our internal efficiency is good. What I mean by internal efficiency is we have very low school dropout. We have a very high rate of school enrollment. By the time the Jamtian Conference in 1990, March 26th in Jamtian Conference in Thailand, declared education for all and requested the world governments to reach 90% enrollment rate. By 1990, Sri Lanka has already surpassed that target. That's good. That's how our records are. So the internal efficiency is enrollment, then the completion of primary education. Our dropout rates are very, very low. Our completion rate of primary education is over 98%. Only a few dropped out in the primary age. Then all that 98% gets into secondary education, which is rare in the world. And then 89% of that cohort completes 9 years of compulsory primary education. Then they get into junior secondary and senior secondary stages. The completion rate of GC O-level, that is 11 years of education, is also that side of 85%, not the passing rate, I mean the people who reach 11. But last year we had more than 70% passing GC O-level. So then we of course have a large number leaving the system, about half leaves, the other half joins the advanced level classes. The system has been quite good. But then, why reforms is another question that we have asked. But we have very low external efficiency. Our system does not serve the people in the world of work very much. Not only even other spheres like family living, social life, all those areas, our external efficiency shows very low value. And also, over the years, the place of the school, the identity of the school has degraded. The school has lost its identity, and you all know, since you're all educators, so the change is for the better. Why we want reforms? We want to change for the better. What is changing for the better means? Now, in general, people done very many times since 1972. I refer to 72 because that was the last major education reform that happened in Sri Lanka was in 1972. And after that, many other reforms happened, but these are very basics, more patchwork type reform. So many years, we are going for major reforms. Now, when you say reforms, actually what we want is a paradigm shift. We want to shift from where we are to a higher level. The reason is Sri Lanka is stagnated in education for the last 50 years. Since 1972, there was no major reforms. As a result, our system is stagnated. We have not climbed to the next level of education, which we have the potential, we do it, but somehow it has not happened over the years. So this reform, we attempt to change the level of education. We take education to the next plateau to meet the world-class standards as much as possible. This paradigm shift is no easy task. We all know. Change is very difficult. Change is difficult. Even if you are educated, many people do not like to leave their comfort zones because this is the biggest challenge that I see. People still try to be in their own positions, doing the same old things the same way, because that's your comfort zone. But as long as you all stay in the comfort zone without change, change is impossible. I see this at the ministry level, at the administration, people not ready to learn, change. I go to institutions, institutions are not ready to change that way. Of course, I don't generalize it and say everyone. There are many who wish to change, but many of them also are not willing to change. This is the biggest challenge that we all will face. Now, for instance, if you tell universities to give up lecture methods of teaching, I don't think that's that easy to do it. And if you ask the lecturers you have to work more than what you are doing now, in other foreign universities, people come to work at 6 o'clock, they go home by 6 o'clock, because that's how the American universities, if you go there, you will see your professor comes at 6 o'clock to the office. And sometimes your first appointment is at 6 o'clock in the, I have gone through, as a student in US, many times I have met my professor at 6 o'clock in his room. But do we do that? Are we willing to do that? No, we are all looking for comfort zones. A nation cannot go like that unless we all take the risk of the willingness, commitment to change is very, very important for all of us. Coming to that, Madam, you being a professor of health, I said the system has failed. This is another place that we are really trying to say is the health of the system. Our COVID-19 is new, but just before that, you see, when you look at, you said that I graduated in 69. I must also say that I went to school in 1949. Okay, 1949, I can remember very well the first independence celebration at school. That time it was malaria. The similar situation was there in Sri Lanka, because when we go to school in the morning, we had to take a pill of quinine every morning, because then it was a different issue. But we were struggling then with the communicable diseases, diarrhea, chicken pox, all types of communicable diseases. But today, in the last few decades, our non-communicable diseases are on the increase. This diagram shows 24% of our school children in the age of 10 to 14 year range are already pre-diabetic. The health system alarms that, school health statistics show we are building a good workforce for the future, but 1/4 of that workforce is already not fit to join the workforce in health conditions. COVID came after that. So the reforms are really, that is why if you look at Saubhagya Dakma, the President's vision for education, we say health first. Because all education today is geared to have a good workforce. You cannot have a good workforce if there is no good health in the workforce. Health and education is like the two sides of the same coin. One side you need health, on the other side you need the human capacity. That's why when you talk of human resource development, you are not talking about education alone. Education, the other side of the coin, is health. The Lord Buddha said, Arogya Paramalabha. Biggest thing in life is to have good health. So the workforce without health is useless. So in educational reforms, we are placing very important place for, then if you look at the 70% of deaths in Sri Lanka are caused by non-communicable diseases. These are the things: cancer, chronic lung diseases, diabetics, heart cases. All these are coming from young age, because there is no physical exercising in the school system. There is physical inactivity from childhood. This is the culture that we have gone in the last 30, 40 years. Then unhealthy diet style. Eating matters a lot for your health. And what do you eat? These things have to be, eating is a habit. Those habits has to be cultivated right from the smallest day. So you can see that education alone cannot do this. We need a lot of parent educate, because its mother has to be educated. We have educated mothers, but they are not health educated mothers. These are the new messages we have. Then smoking, drugs, and all these things are rather big issues, and we need to work on these things to increase good health. The other serious issue that where we have failed in external efficiency of education, high rate of divorce. Social Services Director, her recent report says, alarming rate of divorce in Sri Lanka will damage the social fabric of our country. For a day, 400 couples divorce. In Western province, 95% of these couples are with less than 3 years of marriage. So who is responsible? Is it the parents? No, it is education. Everything is education. We have to give them. That is why we called it in Saubhagya, Dakma, happy family. If you don't learn to live a happy life, what is the purpose of education? You are educated, and if you do not know how to share your life with your wife or your husband, your education is useless. After all, everything is happiness. Individual who does not belong to a family. So the family has to be placed very high importance. So it is studying physics or chemistry or geography or Sinhala or any other subject is all second, all comes second. Human values becomes very important. Learn to live together. Learn to tolerate each other. The compassion in life. These are all Buddhist principles. No need for us to advocate new. We had these things in our society. We have lost them gradually. That is really resurrection of the all value system has become very, very important for us. So these are some of the external efficiency indicators that I want you to place high importance education. In the Faculty of Education, my pledge to you is that don't bury your student in the teaching of subject matter alone. Without these value systems, developing the human being as a good human being, education is useless. Education is character building. Education is personality development. These are the fundamentals that we all need. So we all know Saubhagya Dakma is the policy framework of the government. I pay this, since you are in the Faculty of Education, we have 7 major interventions in these reforms. One is the very first one you have is, we are also going for a major administrative reforms in education. These things are maybe less important to you, but entire educational administration is not efficient enough. Many people are there in the system, but the system is not serving people effectively. So the administrative reforms are on the way. We are trying to change the administrative system. Actually, even next week, we have a major discussion with all provincial directors. So that will come. Then the second one is create informed citizens for society. This is where actually curriculum plays a very important role. Curriculum has become somewhat irrelevant in the last. I will come to that. So the third one is health has to be given top priority. So imagine that in the reforms, from preschool to A level, health will play a very important role in every sense. Physical exercising, sports, and health will become compulsory at all stages. That you are fit to take national free investment in higher education. We are educating people with common man's copper, and they have to be good enough products to serve the society. If that is not understood by the university student, it is sad, because the poor man's copper is spent on you, and you have to be the right profile that the nation wants. If that is not generated from the universities, then the universities are also of no value to us. So this is very, very basic things that we all have to understand. Then fourthly, improving the overall quality of equity. Though we talk of equity, there is no equity in education system at all. Our school system is the best indicator for that. We have national schools, we have 1AB schools, we have 1C schools, type 2 schools and type 3 schools. These are all social classes. I see it that way. These 5 indicators shows that we have 5 social classes. This is the best indicator to show that we have violated the equity principle. So although we are reforming it, already Cabinet has approved 1,169 national schools already approved. We all have started already implementing the program. It was last Cabinet which approved the list. So even with 1,169 schools, equity will not come. We all know that. But in the next phase, we will erase these all identities and we'll have only primary schools, junior secondary schools and senior secondary schools. No national schools, no 1AB schools, no 1C schools. That is our target to reach. That book made a big change, particularly in medical sciences, I would say, because he had more biological orientation. While we won't change, incremental small changes is not going to change these things. We need a revolutionary change. So the third one is teacher is becoming a mentor and a facilitator. We cannot teach everything today because knowledge is expanding, doubling in 18 months. Knowledge doubles in 18 months now. In time to come, maybe in 6 months, knowledge will double. So the knowledge goes so fast. No teacher can teach everything. So we have to teach the child how to learn, where to find. Of course, internet plays a very, very important role. World Wide Web has become the professor now for everybody. You type any word, go to Google, with no time you can learn about it. This is the truth. So orient them. Sri Lanka has a problem. We cannot reach every child online. Even in the universities, we have gone online, but there is a lot of digital divide in that. Those who have, I heard Professor Kapila was telling in the morning, I have 2 children, 2 online programs come at the same time, and I have only 1 device at home. How do I share it? This is at his level. Just think about the poor man. He has no device. Even if he has a device, perhaps it's a much more substandard device. So we have this issue. We are directly in discussion with Telecom Authority, Telecommunication Authority, SLT, Mobitel. We are always meeting with them. I think we have had more than 5-6 meetings in the last few months. Now, Ratnapura district will be covered on 4G or fiber optics by March 31st, 2021. The entire country will be covered by 2023 March with fiber optic or 4G system. But you see, we have plans now to give internet connectivity to 5,000 schools, but we are not going to start from the top. We start from the bottom. The smaller schools, we will give the connections. We will give the televisions to the smaller schools and we will come bottom up, not top down. So because the other schools can manage. They already have something. Their parents are more able. So getting new connections will allow us to go for more new mode of learning. But the Vice Chancellor on the way to working here, she said, but you see, open distance learning lacks something very seriously. What is socialization? Now this obviously happens. Now we all have to sit apart. We have to move like this. We have to talk with having masks. So our curriculum has a lot of social skills programs. I keep my fingers crossed whether we will be ever be able to implement those with these health constraints that we have newly faced with. So anyway, socialization is very important. So educational reforms, when I go, Kapila, kindly tell me the time when you have time. So the 1,000 schools program, you can hint me, please, sir. Have I already exceeded? So the 1,000 schools program, we have gone to 1,169 schools, already Cabinet has approved. These schools will be not like the national schools that you had before. earlier, when you asked from the Ministry of Education, when I went there, I asked them to give me the profile of a national school. Nobody has. So nobody knows what a national school means. There is no profile. Now, last week we had workshops and we have finalized the profile of a national school. So when you say a national school, it has to have minimum certain conditions and standards. That will be there. Also, we have discussed with the Treasury many times, these investments will be locked to that school. What happens now when you give money to provincial councils, though we allocate it for something else, they use it for something else. That cannot be done. So all these schools will come up as a result. We hope by 2024, we will have 1,000 plus schools, quite good enough for most of the children, at least 70% of the children in grade 6 to have a decent school. And these schools will be rationalized for advanced level classes as well. This is the major reform that we are going for curriculum. We are going for skills-oriented curriculum. Not knowledge-oriented. Of course, skills need knowledge. But ultimate learning outcome is a skill that we are looking for. It's a difficult thing. How to go for skills? Everything has to be, we want a doable person out as the product of an education. So the modules are prepared all on activity based for children to do things at home, at school, in community, and as a result, will develop most of their skills, attitudes, as well as human qualities. Collaborative work, teamwork, all those things will come with it. This is called authentic learning. There is no actually good Sinhala word for that. People still call it susattiya genima kiyala. Amaru therenne naha kaatawat. The authentic means we relate learning to life, home, community, society, industry, commerce, services. So the child grows with competence to work in any sector as they grow. And they will also, by doing that, they will be able to find what they like, where their interests are, where their abilities are. So the curriculum will have two major changes. One is that 50% of the curriculum will be on essential basic learning. Person should know their language, their basic mathematics, there are basic things that we have identified them. That is only 50% in the curriculum. Balance 50% is totally optional. We want to diversify the curriculum. Allow a child to go with his ability and interest to do something more as he or she wishes. Then out of that 50%, 10% is given for health, sports, physical exercises. As you said, mindfulness training. All these things will become part of general education in school. So this is the plan. I invite you to come at any time on Wednesday to NIE. You can see that all NIE staff is busy working on curriculum, making presentations. We are almost at the tail end of presentations now. Then we will start writing new modules. Education system is also going to be educational reforms, bring close service for education sector. What do you mean by it? You hear that. Right now in Sri Lanka, close service is there only for medical profession, engineers, and judges. Those are the only three close services we have. We are going to bring teachers and school principals and all other education sector employees to a close service. So when you say close service, just like the medicine, engineering, and judiciary, this will be a prestigious service. But we have problems. I told you there are 13 categories of teachers. To become a doctor, minimum you have to have an MBBS degree. Same thing will apply for the teacher. Without a Bachelor of Education degree, you cannot be a teacher in future. So the backlog we need to clear. Those are other measures that we have to take. So we will see that only a professional person becomes a teacher. We have other associate teachers and assistants who will earn qualifications and enter the profession as they go on. So these things are already framed. Actually, this afternoon at 2:30, I have to give another talk on this close service to education SLES union. Then we are upgrading the National Colleges of Education to degree awarding institutions. We are making a Bachelor of Education graduate. Already we are preparing 3 Bachelor of Education degrees to be awarded through the colleges. Bachelor of Education in Primary Education, Bachelor of Education in Junior Secondary and Senior Secondary Education, and Bachelor of Education perhaps in IT and Technology, because those are separate branches. So these degrees are very different from your Bachelor of Education degrees, I must tell you. Dr. Kapila, we had a standing committee meeting with the university one day, and you all asked many questions. I must tell, you see, I'm happy that Open University has a Bachelor of Education degree for primary, Bachelor of Education degree for aesthetics, Bachelor of Education degree for natural sciences. I think that's all, 3. They have 3, but they don't have a Bachelor of Education degree for arts, which is a blessing. Why I say that? People ask, why are you against arts? I am not against arts. I myself did arts. No, it's not the case. System is overloaded. We have surplus of arts graduates, teachers in the system. Maybe we have to give a golden handshake and ask them to leave, because we don't produce any more BHs with art. I'm telling you now in aid, and don't expect them to get jobs in the system as well, because we are overcrowded. Already the Colombo is preparing Bachelor of Education Arts. Peradeniya is king. Now Vayamba is also starting. I know Javardhanpur also has a proposal. I think they all should convert this. Give a Bachelor of Education in English, Bachelor of Education in Science, Bachelor of Education in Mathematics. Those are the areas. Demand has to be first important thing. So we can have a very good understanding of with us, rather than, producing people who has to come again, demanding jobs and standing outside. Don't do that. Look at the demand, where the demand is, and produce that kind of graduates. So we can accommodate them. There is no issue on that. Actually, Dr. Kapila, we will have a meeting on that actually with the UGC and all of them, because this message we have given it already, but I know it is difficult to change, but stop taking any more. And because you see, when 50,000 graduates go and stand in front of the president's house, you invest in free education and give them all education. Then you also absorb them into employment, well knowing you are absorbing the wrong person, and goes for another 30, 40 years. Can a country progress like that? It's a simple logic. We all as educated people should understand where we go and what we do. So these are issues in that. We will upgrade NIE also to a different level. We have done logical analysis of the system. What we have found is serious inequity, lack of relevance in education, alarming negative trends in society, high degree of stress caused by education on the learner and the parents. You look at grade 5 scholarship, there's so much of stress, not only for the child. Mothers have more stress than the child, because this is the truth. So these are parameters that we are. Then high wastage in education. Why I say high wastage? As you are teacher educators, I am telling you, teacher pupil ratio in Sri Lanka is 1:17. Okay? Not a single European country has 1:17. They are all that side of 1:20. US has 1:14. Okay? So we are better than Europe. Are we? Then teacher pupil ratio, there are 312 divisional education officers. When you take the analysis of 312 divisions, 215 divisions have a teacher pupil ratio less than 1:17. There are some divisions with 1:6. There are many divisions with 1:8, 1:10, 1:11, 1:12, like that. So I don't think that there is any other country in the world with that many teachers, because in Bangladesh it is 1:50. India right now is 1:56. So having 1:8, yesterday I came across, we gave a connectivity to one school in Siambalan with dialogue connections and all that. There were 60 students in that school, and 15 teachers, 1 to 4 teacher people ratio. This is a serious wastage. No, it is your money. It is the ordinary taxman's money now that we are spending. So can a system go like that? So these are real waste. So much of wastage. These I need not tell you. Our problems are heavy content oriented, heavy examination oriented, heavy academic, low performance in mathematics, English, there is no social cohesion in society. All these issues we are known. So curriculum is trying to address all that. We want cognitive scholarships and scholarship. We want productive citizens, healthy, good family skills, generic technical skills, emotionally, morally more developed graduates, IT, media, technology skills. Those are the things that we are concentrating in the curriculum reforms. I would like to really, for you to look at this new, it is not new, it is almost 20 years old, cognitive domain classification. We are all talking about Bloom now. And I hear that some of you all say, this is Anderson's classification. Anderson classification is no different from Bloom. This is not true. This classification is highly appropriate for today. It is not like that. I just take the lower levels are known to you, knowledge and all these two are known to you. But I start from application because we are going for skills development. When you say skills, I'll take a small example. This classification is work. When you use something, a child, say for instance, take a small example, child is playing, mother gives a toy. The child is playing with the toy. Now child is using the toy. While using the toy, lot of ideas generate in his mind. Of course, you can't see that. When you come next, what do you see? What do you see? The child has deconstructed the toy. That is not because that he doesn't want it, because of the ideas generated in his mind made him to investigate it. He wants to see how this works. So he deconstructs. This is the natural learning process now in every human being. Then what happens? After that, not that he wanted to disconnect and then destroy it. He is now trying to assemble it. He will try to put it back. You can see a lot of tension at home. If you are a young mother, the child is now crying and then mother comes and helps. Some toys you can put it back. Sometimes you cannot put it back. So this is the learning process that has to follow. Then what happened? Then the child reflects on this. Child learns a lot from that. In when about it, I remember my small son those days. His son is also a postgraduate student now. but I say when he was small, lot of toys were broken in US in a box. One day when we were shifting from US to Sri Lanka, was packing, we had to leave all those broken toys, and he was really regretting, reflecting back, oh, see, I broke all these things. No, I could have taken it. So this reflection child has always. That reflection makes us better humans. If you don't reflect back on anything that we do, we never improve. That's the truth. Even daily, I don't know, in my life, daily I reflect on my life. Daily I go to bed in the evening, I go revisit my day. That has become it's a habit in me now. I have done it always. Then I see what errors happened from me. Did I talk to somebody rude? Did I neglect something? All reviews make you a better person tomorrow. That's the way the world works. That is how humans work. So the same thing happens in learning. Whatever you do, you need to learn to reflect. That reflection will bring the child's mind new designs. You must see how children play. If you have time, look at how a small child plays. You give a Lego set and see what kind of things they design. Every design they improve next. What do they after that? That design is an innovation next time. That is how people become creative and inventive people. So the education process, I don't say that when you educate 100, all 100 people will be innovators. It is not. But innovative thoughts will be there. Some people will reach that. When you teach a society, maybe 100 people became innovators. That is the future of the nation. They are the people who take the education or the economy forward. These are the types of reforms that we are trying to advocate. This is the new concept that we, in education, we all talk, metacognition. What do you mean? Metacognition means nothing. It is reflection. Every stage, see that the child reflects. Yeah. So the other one is that creativity. So what we have in education is this lower order thinking at the bottom now. Where do we want to go is actually to take people to that higher order thinking. So we are going for authentic learning, self-learning. Constructivist learning means for the child to create knowledge, search for implicit knowledge than explicit knowledge. Just take 2 minutes to explain that concept. We all have textbooks to learn. We all have everything in writing. That is called explicit knowledge. This is what Kant's, that I said, encyclopedia, the Stanford University professor, this is what he said. Explicit knowledge is good just for teaching. You learn from one book and you teach a child. That should not be education. Explicit knowledge cannot take the world any more forward. That's the non-knowledge. What we need is implicit knowledge. Implicit knowledge, there are no textbooks for it. It's all to doing things. If you are a practitioner, Madam, one Dr. Cyril Utpitia, who died recently in Bangalore, he did a small surgery in me. And my very close friend. And he said, Upali, Mama stitches done in I'm not going to put any stitches, but I will close it. Don't worry about it. So you don't have to come back. If festers, you come back. You need it. So that is because experience. If you are a doer, you get new ideas. You get creative thoughts. You learn how to do things differently. And to go there, you need to have, that is called implicit knowledge, which is not there in the book. Somebody who can write a research paper, if you are a good worker. See how now the world is ready to have hydraulic cell cars on road. Already America has in the West Coast and East Coast 350 vehicles running on hydraulic cell. That is the water-based cars. Okay. Now, who invented that? Go to web and read it. I'm not going to tell you because go to web and read it. It's not a PhD in the university who was a professor. They never invented. No, very rarely people invented. They get Nobel Prizes through. But most of the world inventions are done by doers. It's a foreman who invented it. A foreman who was working that, who was struggling with this concept. Through his experiments, he finds that it can be done this way. And he had to demonstrate it to a panel of engineers, professors from universities to show that his technology. He could not write it on a formula because he didn't know how to write the formula. But then the professors agreed, this is new energy he has found. What happened? In the water, there is oxygen and hydrogen. Actually, what he has done is these two get split. That split gave the energy. So it's a very dangerous thing. Atomic bomb is a very dangerous thing. Now we all know that. So now the car is delayed because there are 26 already safety conditions they have to satisfy in that. They are on experimental basis, they are running. But the founder is the foreman, not a top engineer. The same thing, if you take Thomas Edison, we talk of Thomas Edison for everything. No? Where did he graduate? He is a school dropout at grade 3. Because he was so inventive. Inventive people, creative people cannot go in the same classroom because they are not listeners to teachers. So Thomas Edison was removed from school because teacher said he's of no use, please take him out. So mother took him. Thomas Edison thanked the mother. After every invention, he thanked the mother. Read that autobiography and see. He has the largest number of patents in the world, 1,067 patents. Inventive minds are what really takes the world. Same thing now here. Henry Ford. The Ford car is the first car. Multi-trillion-dollar industry. His father is a school dropout. He dropped out in grade 6. He was cutting wheat with the father. And he was always thinking, can I do it differently? That is how he invented the car. That is why he invented the machine. Even the best comic, Charlie Chaplin, is a school dropout. To us, Steve Jobs, inventor of Apple. What he said, I invented my Apple computer. See, read his autobiography. I invented my Apple computer in my father's garage working desk. The child exposure that you. So education is a promising field. Human sustainability or development all depends on you and I, what we do in education. So thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, sir, for that extensive analysis of the root causes of the dilemmas that we are facing in education in Sri Lanka today, and for stressing up the much needed paradigm shift that we have to do in the education system in Sri Lanka. With that, I need to thank the Madam Vice Chancellor and Dr. Upalisedara. Without both of you, this event would not have been happened today. So therefore, from the faculty, as a token of appreciation, we want to present you souvenirs. I kindly invite Dr. Kapila Bandara, Dean of Faculty of Education, to present the token of appreciation to Madam Vice Chancellor, Senior Professor Chandrika in Vijayaratne. Thank you, Madam. I now call upon our keynote speaker, Dr. Upalisedara, to accept our token of appreciation. Thank you, sir. We have now come to the closure of our inaugural session, which will be followed by the research presentations. To wrap up the session, I cordially invite the Symposium Chair, Dr. Lakshman Vedikaragi, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Respected members of the clergy, Chief Guest, Senior Professor Chandrika and Vijayaratne, Vice Chancellor of the University of Colombo, Keynote Speaker, Dr. Upalisedara, Secretary to the State Ministry of Education Reforms, Open Universities and Distant Learning Promotions, the Rector of the Sri Pali Campus, Deans, Directors, Librarian, Heads of Departments, and all the members of the academic staff present here today, former deans, former professors, senior lecturers of the Faculty of Education, the registrar, professors, bursa, and members of the administrative and non-academic staff, paper presenters, and students, my dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank our chief guest, Senior Professor Chandrika and Vijayaratna, for gracing this occasion amidst a busy schedule. We are, in fact, indebted to Madam Vice Chancellor for her continued support and guidance given to us, especially during the COVID pandemic virus. We seek your support and guidance in all our future activities as well. And Madam Vice Chancellor had to mention in her speech that she has been able to transform this university from a teaching university to that of a research university. Thank Madam Vice Chancellor for bringing in new ideas and trying to transform the university from a teaching one to a research university. Then I would like to thank our keynote speaker, Dr. Upali Sedara, because what our Madam Vice Chancellor said complements what our keynote speaker happened to mention here. Change. If you don't change, if you are not prepared to change, then you would not progress. So I thank you very much, sir, for accepting our invitation and coming here amidst your busy schedule as well, and explaining what the new reforms are going to be and how they are going to help society in general and individual learners in particular. Then a very big thank you to Dr. Kapila Bandara, the Dean of the Faculty of Education, for asking me to become the Symposium Chair this year and giving all assistance and advice and guidance and constantly monitoring the process during the past couple of weeks as well as during the past couple of days. And he has also been a source of inspiration, and he has identified that together we can do a lot of work and completely transform the Faculty of Education to a new form. So thank you very much, Dr. Kapila Bandara, for all your support and guidance. And then the session chairs, at my invitation, they all accepted to come here today and chair the sessions. I must thank former senior professor Mari Pereira for accepting our invitation to come here to chair a session. And also I must thank former Professor Kuraratna for accepting our invitation to chair a session. Professor Sandrasegaram, Deans of the Faculty of Education, for accepting our invitation and coming here to share the session. And particularly I must thank the personnel who have come here today from the University of Colombo School of Computing to provide us with technical support. And also a special thank you must go to Miss Samadara Amarasinghe, the IT instructor at the Faculty of Education. She was overloaded with a lot of work, and she, without fail, attended to almost everything and more whenever she was asked to do so. And also, I must thank Dakshina Madhusanka from the Faculty of Arts, who has always been helpful, not only on this occasion, but also on previous occasions, whenever we needed help concerning IT. And I must also thank the SCR, Mrs. Arata Ekanayaka, for attending to various activities during the past couple of days, and including today as well. And also all the members of the academic staff, the organizing committee. I don't have time, and also I can't thank enough the members of the organizing committee, the technical committee, the food committee, the whole arrangement committee. Although I'm unable to refer to them by name, I give them a big thank you for assisting us, helping us, and giving their support to make this event a success. And finally, I must thank the members of the non-academic staff for all their support and assistance. If I have not mentioned anybody's name or anybody's group, that is not on purpose, but as far as I remember, I think I mentioned all the people who helped us to make this event a success. Thank you very much. And from now on, we will break into separate rooms and we will be continuing with our paper presentations. So I wish you all a continued joyful symposium day for the rest of the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Lakshman Vedikarage. Venerable Sangha, ladies and gentlemen, with the wrapping up, we have come to the end of our inaugural session. Now we can proceed to the research presentations. Once again, thank you all who are present here today and who joined us via online. And I wish you an evening filled with mind-provoking wisdom. Thank you.